Oh, I'm so bad at reviews. I always forget something that I need to mention. Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? Today I thought I'd just try and do a really quick review of the latest Black Veil Brides album. I don't actually know what to call it. I've heard loads of different people call it loads of different names. It's just apparently a self-titled album. I feel like I should know this, seeing as I'm quite a big fan of theirs, but I'm just going to call it BVB4 probably, so you've all been warned about that. I don't really have long to do this review, and when I do reviews I usually forget little things to add in, so you've also been warned about that. So I forget to mention, I don't know, the dancing monkey within one of the videos. I'm sorry, I have an awful memory and my list is very vague. Okay, I should probably get started instead of waffling on. The only thing I can really say about this album is that it's really good. It sounds very different to their usual kind of sound. Their past 3 albums have been very kind of similar. I think Re-Stitch These Wounds and Set the World on Fire, they kind of like together, and then I felt like Wretched and Divine kind of evolved a little bit, and now for this album they have just matured a lot. They sound very kind of like the old kind of rock and roll. Like, my mum really enjoys the album and she says it sounds like the kind of thing she used to listen to when she was my age, and she likes all that kind of like the classic rock kind of band, so for her this is her favourite one, especially because it's got less screaming than the others. I wouldn't necessarily agree with her. I still really like some of their other albums, but this one's still pretty enjoyable actually. First of all, the album artwork, I don't know if you can see that clearly, but it is amazing. I absolutely love the album artwork. It's just cool, I guess. It's very different to anything I've seen anywhere else, and I think it's just nice. It sounds stupid, but I don't know how else to describe it. It's just really nice album artwork. Usually I'm not a big fan of certain album artworks, but I think that was actually really successful and I think it's pretty cool, and probably their best album artwork if I'm honest. As for the actual sound of the music, I felt, like I said, it was very rock and roll, like more classic rock kind of thing, and that, sorry, I have got a list, and that the sound of each of the songs is very consistent. I personally don't mind this. I know my boyfriend's not a big fan of it, but we have found that we can't, the first couple of times we listened to it, we couldn't tell when one song had ended and the other had begun. My boyfriend doesn't like it because he finds the album quite repetitive, but I do really enjoy the songs and I feel like it's more easy listening kind of thing. I don't feel like I have to focus on it if I'm listening to it. I don't feel like it's just I can listen to it or I can do something else. I feel like I can have it on in the background and not get too distracted. Faithless is probably my favourite song. I know that everyone will heavily criticise me for that, seeing as it's a single, and apparently you're not allowed to like singles, but I really enjoy that song. I think that's really good. I'm pretty sure I've actually just covered every single point. That's how vague my kind of review was. I've only listened to it a couple of times. I enjoy listening to an album a couple times and then reviewing it, as opposed to listening to it 50,000 times, doing a load of research on it and finding out everything about it and then doing a review on it. I feel like this way, say someone was just getting into Black Veil Brides and they saw this review, bought the album, and then because I'd listened to it 50,000 times and understood the meaning of every song, I feel like their preset opinion of it will be a lot better than what they'll get. Because I tend to find as soon as I've done some research into the album and into the songs, I prefer them more because I understand where they're coming from. One thing I did notice though within the first couple of listens was the heavy Christian references, which I quite liked. I think it's very unique to their band. Obviously their band name, Black Veil Brides, is all to do with the like biblical meanings. I think they said it was the name that nuns often get, something like that. And I think that's very unique to them, and I kind of like the way they kind of play off this idea of religion, even though I'm pretty sure most of them are atheists, but don't quote me on that because I have no clue. So yeah, I really like the references throughout. I think the sound is really unique to them. The guitar solos are out of this world. Like, I really like them. Usually, I don't know how to wear this properly. Usually kind of like the instrument sides aren't very emphasised towards the audience. It's usually for bands like this, which have got a large teenage girl like fan base, they wouldn't bother with trying to show off the talents of everyone in the band. I mean, as long as you've got a hot lead singer who can sing, most girls don't seem to care, but in this, like, everyone seemed to get their chance to shine. The guitarists had their solos, each of which were amazing, and even when I went to see them live, Jinx was able to play the violin. I will do a proper review of seeing him live at one point. Jinx got to play the violin and he was amazing as that, like he always is. And also CC got a drum solo, and they just seem to really try and show off everyone's talents. They're not like relying on their looks or relying on Andy's voice or anything like that. Everyone's genuinely talented. It's not like just a amazing lead singer and then like an average band. Everyone fully puts their all into it, and I think that's mainly the reason why this album's so successful. Usually I wouldn't enjoy it if it kind of sounded the same, and I feel like with Andy's voice it's so unique that it'll be easy to make every song sound the same, but along with the instruments it really complements it and it really makes every song its own. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. I really enjoyed it. If you like Black Veil Brides, I suggest you pick this up. Personally, I prefer Set the World on Fire and Wretched and Divine. I nearly said the wrong one then. They're my two favourites. Set the World on Fire is more like their starting off sound, like there's more screaming and stuff. A lot more kind of like more of a raw sound to it, I guess. And Wretched and Divine is a little bit more matured from that. I definitely think this is the most mature they've been. If you're just going to start listening to them, feel free to listen to this one first. If you're like maybe just getting into kind of rock or something, maybe if you don't like Scream, but I don't feel like this will give you an accurate insight to their other albums, because they are just so different, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, I quite like their evolving sound. The same for Asking Alexandria. I like the fact that you kind of matured with them. They started off quite, I don't know, like angry, I guess, and then as they're growing up and learning to just not give a fuck about certain things, it's kind of like the audience is growing up with it. And I liked both Black Veil Brides and Asking Alexandria from when they were quite small. I'm not going to say the start because I'm not that good. From when they were quite small, and it's just, I think it's good that they've evolved. I think that it's really good that they've matured their sound, and some people hate it, some people love it, but I can't really tell you your opinion. I think you'll just have to listen to each of them. Yeah, listen to each of the albums and formulate your own opinion on it, because I really like it. I still like their other albums, I like their original sound, but I think this is really good, really new and really unique. So yeah, that's my review on it. I really enjoyed the album. Faithless is definitely one of my favourite tracks, along with, I think it's also World of Sacrifice. I think it's my favourite. Like I said, I only listened to this a couple of times. I cannot even remember all the names of the songs yet. Yeah, I think it's World of Sacrifice, who I also really enjoy. So yeah, definitely, if you're not sure about buying the album, listen to Faithless, listen to World of Sacrifice. Just listen to a couple of songs and then you'll definitely get the feel for it. But I am now ill. So I'm going to go back and lay down and hopefully not throw up everywhere. I just thought I'd do a little review because I'm bored. Okay. And I will also leave some links to certain songs on my penis, so you can check them out if you want to, including some of their older stuff. So yeah. Bye.